And now's the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it.
True internet suffer depression.
Who are fake news?
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. If I can circle back, I'll circle back with you. Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Hello and welcome to episode 267 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I am Jeffrey.
And I'm Brian.
And we're just two guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. All right. Well, Happy New Year first.
Happy New Year.
All right. Well, I don't know. Some crazy shit went down on New Year's Day, but we'll definitely get into that.
Yeah.
Well, we usually start with follow-up, so let's have a look at what has been ongoing. Looks like that dock workers strike that we were talking about a while ago is about to get started up again.
Yeah, conveniently stopped right before the election, and the delay and the things they were arguing about are back on the table again. And apparently if they go on strike, the pay raise they were already negotiated with goes out the window too.
Oh, well, one of the big arguments is they don't want to be replaced by machines, right?
Yes.
So
And
basically
Trump supports them not being replaced by machines too.
I don't, man. That's like banning the internet to save the libraries. You know, it's like it's more efficient, it costs less, it's faster. But I mean, I get these guys don't want to lose their jobs, but then they want a pay raise on top of job security.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, like times change. Costs China far less to unload a ship than it does us, and they do it quicker and with less mistakes. But oh well.
Yeah, most of the ports overseas are already pretty much fully automated.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Eventually they're all going to lose their jobs anyway to machines. Most of work in general will eventually. So this is what's crazy too, though. It's like your socialists and communists. This is what they want, but then they won't let it happen.
Right.
No, they just want to be entitled to these people's labor instead of the,
Yeah.
You familiar with Jim Gaffigan, the comedian?
I am.
We talked about him before, getting all pissy about Trump and talking a lot of shit about Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And then he came out and he's like, yeah, maybe I was wrong. And now
Yeah, because he's gotten a lot of people saying, well, I'm not going to any more of your shows. I'm not supporting your comedy anymore. You know, so, I mean, they're entitled to their opinion, but if they want to keep earning money from both sides of the fence, maybe they should stay out of politics. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Or if you're going to make jokes about jokes is one thing, I suppose. Calling people morons and idiots is another.
Yeah.
And now he's coming out and he's like, oh, well, a lot of these people took it as personal offense. Like, you call them fucking morons, dude.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And now he's worried that they're never going to forgive him. And that's not what he meant at all. It's like, no, that's exactly what you meant.
I don't
You
think he cares if they forgive him or not. He just wants them to buy his albums and go to his shows and help pay him to pay his bills, you know?
Yeah. And he just did a Netflix one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't followed his work much over the last couple of years in general.
No, I moved away from it too, you know. So
yeah, like in the 90s, I was following his stuff because he was funny, but I was like, it's the same, not the same jokes, but it's the same style of jokes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Johnson won the House.
Yep. I think the Trump endorsement probably helped him with that, get it done so quickly.
I don't particularly like Speaker Mike Johnson, but
Well, he's not the greatest in the world, but compared to previous House speakers that the Republicans have put up as of late, like Paul Ryan and people like that, he's been fair and balanced for the most part. He tries to get shit done.
Was Paul Ryan the one that what's his name there? The Republican from Matt Gaetz. Is Ryan the one Gaetz got ousted?
No, that was the one That was the guy from California.
Okay, okay.
Paul
Yeah,
Ryan was way back, and he was from like Wisconsin or something like that. And
yeah. I could see the picture. I could see Paul Ryan in my face too.
yeah, yeah. But when he got elected, he pretty much turned into your world famous rhino. Mike
Yeah,
Johnson, I don't view as a rhino. So he's got his flaws, he's got it, but he's got
dude.
such a narrow majority to work with, It's like herding cats. He's got to have so many people in line to get anything passed and get anything through. And we all know how it is to herd cats.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost as tough as getting Republicans to agree on something.
Exactly.
Because that party is very divided, whereas the Democrats march in lockstep.
Well, they're
Uh,
becoming more divided too. So,
they are, and this is not. They have to though. Like they can't possibly pander to the far left and your more centrist voters. You know what I mean?
yeah.
All right. So what's up with this New York thing with was it Marshawn marching?
Yeah. Yeah. He's bound and determined that he's going to keep his name in the highlights. And he's already came out and said that the sentencing will be on January 10th. And he's already hinted that there'll be no jail time in it and there'll be no fines either. So
Yeah, no penalties with the
it's
conviction sticks.
right. So he will be a convicted felon. He'll be the first president that's been a convicted felon. But you know, but it also allows Trump to keep appealing it.
This is on the 10th.
Yes, next Friday.
Isn't
Yep.
that usually when the president takes office?
No, the 20th.
20th. My mistake. I was up
And
by
they
my
told
mistake.
him, he told him that Trump has the option to appear either virtually or in person. So,
Yeah, exactly. This is just so that they can say that he's convicted felon,
right.
even though no penalty was dished out at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jimmy Carter died, and people made a big deal. Which, yeah, I mean, former president, 100 years old.
He
J-
was a better humanitarian after he got out of office than he was the actual president.
oh yeah, Habitats for Humanity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Exactly. He did way more after the fact. And I don't know, man. Would you say he was a worse president than Biden?
No.
All right, well, there
Before
you go. So he's
Biden, I would say Carter was the worst president that I can remember because I do remember Jimmy Carter as president vaguely. I remember he was the guy that putting gas rationing in place. You could only get gas every other day, depending on your
depending
license
on your plate.
plate.
Yeah.
He also did a big spiel from the Oval Office wearing a sweater and told everybody to turn up their thermostats to save energy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he was the worst president for quite a while until Joe Biden came along. And now Joe Biden's taking that title.
that's quite true. Actually, we've discussed this with different polls that have come out several times. And I don't know who this Vivek Murphy guy
That's
is.
the new
Murphy.
Surgeon General. That's Biden's Surgeon General. Sorry that they got rid of apparently they got rid of the female admiral that's not a male somewhere
Oh,
along the line.
I want to say Rachel Levine, is it?
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
That's I remember thinking that the whole time. I was like, this is the person who's making health decisions for us, and this person thinks
Yeah.
that he's a woman.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I understand that things happen or whatever, but that's not my problem, okay?
But now they're coming out saying that they want to put health warning on labels on alcohol because it causes cancer.
Yeah, and actually, funny, well, not funny. I made a drive yesterday, and the news thing came up on the radio, and it talked about this especially. And then I got home, and you had already shared it to the messenger thing. I was like, oh, all right. Colon, rectal cancer, stomach cancer, throat cancer, mouth, all more than I would have thought. When I think cancer from booze, I think cirrhosis.
Mm-hmm.
Your liver gets jacked up.
Yeah, it's
I don't
almost.
have a big problem with the cancer warning on booze as long as it doesn't cost more.
Well, that'll be the next thing. They'll start taxing it more like they did with cigarettes.
Oh well, fuck you. I'll start making my own booze. Uh, yeah, making your own booze never tastes quite as good though, does it?
No,
All right. Are you familiar with Whitney Cummings?
no.
She is a sitcom writer. She's been in a handful of different things here and there. She's actually doing the game show for that TV show Friends, like the Friends Fanatics or whatever.
Okay, that does. I
Uh,
don't. That doesn't help any.
it did. The wife watched like the first three episodes. It's like, are you kidding me? This is the dumbest thing I've seen in my entire life.
It's on Netflix.
I think so.
Okay.
Uh, well, she was doing the New Year thing with CNN, and oh my goodness, she ripped the entire year apart, especially the Democrats. How the Party of Democracy didn't get a, oh no, the Party of Choice didn't get a choice on the nominee because they were too busy. They couldn't support democracy because they were too busy supporting a dead body. Just all sorts of jokes like that about Biden and
Right.
COVID and everything else. Uh, I thought it was kind of funny. She was concerned about getting booted off the air.
I would be too if I was talking like that on CNN.
Exactly. Yeah. The one guy with them said was laughing the whole time, and Anderson Cooper just got all quiet and was like, "I don't think this is very funny."
Tanner Cooper's wasn't drunk yet.
Well, at midnight he probably was. That might have been why he was quiet because he couldn't come up with anything funny after all that. Okay, did you see this shit about this judge in Georgia?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, like got voted out of office, I guess, and on his final day in office, shot himself in the head.
I don't think getting voted out of office is a reason to commit suicide.
No, and dude's got like kids and everything. Uh, body found inside the courtroom last week. After losing a bid for re-election, he was found by a deputy on what would have been his last day on the bench in Effingham County State Court on Tuesday morning. They found him
Crazy.
at 10 a.m. Yeah. He apparently tried to resign his position after losing the election, but they wouldn't let him, which seems a little strange, but all right. And Harris swore in the new Senate.
Oh yeah, let me get this up. I want to play it.
Of course, you want to play that because I got a good giggle out of it. This sums up her political career, doesn't it?
Pretty much.
Don't forget, you got to do the sharing too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm working on
I would, but I have to keep adjusting my sound output for this to for anyone else to be able to hear what I play for some reason.
Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the
I pledge allegiance to the United States and the United States of America.
it.
Classic right there, huh?
Yeah, she obviously doesn't do the pledge very often.
When was the last time you did the pledge? But you still wouldn't jack it up, would you?
No, I do it every month. I do it at the VFW post for their
No.
meetings.
All right. Most adults don't, but I mean, she actually works in Congress. Or not Congress, in government, you know? Uh, well, meanwhile, speaking of elections and such, here in West Virginia, more than half of the counties are getting a new sheriff.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a
the
lot.
fentanyl is out of control, and they want something done about it. I'm doing my damnedest to not bring up like the same stories every time because it's always someone who's doing crazy drugs and shot somebody. Covered that a couple times, and I was like, oh, let's find something else to talk about. But yeah, so they're replacing at least half of the sheriffs, which is real impressive. And we are dealing with the same winter storm warning that you are over in Virginia.
Yeah, yours is actually real.
Yes, I have a significant amount of snow. I've already used a snowblower twice since the snow started falling. Uh, Spun out, got stuck sideways on a mountain road for about
You
4 minutes.
you
That
you
was a
better
ton
get
of
a
fun.
four-wheel drive van.
I got the four-wheel drive pickup truck. That's
Okay.
how I managed to get back on the road. But it
Did
was just
you
like
have you put some sandbags in the back of it? Kitty litter
right.
bags?
Not
Extra weight?
sandbags or litter bags, but I have 50-pound sacks of deer feed sitting on my rear axle.
Okay.
Well, we like to feed the deer anyway. You know, look out the window, see them walk across the yard. Uh, And then, it also has extra weight on your rear axle when you're
Yeah,
driving a
yeah,
pickup
exactly.
truck around.
Hmm.
So I guess you guys got a state of emergency
Yeah, the governor
because of this.
declared a state of emergency because, I mean, obviously, further up towards Richmond, they're actually going to see actual snow,
Yeah, or way
so
out west in the Appalachian Mountains.
yeah. People don't realize how far out Virginia goes.
Yeah. Uh, and you guys had another shooting in a bar.
Yep. In downtown Hampton a few weeks ago, this 26-year-old got shot after an argument and died shortly thereafter at the hospital. And they found this other 20-some-year-old kid that did the shooting and has been accused of doing the shooting and been arrested for it. So,
Jeez Louise. Didn't we just last week I brought up how we had a guy who got arrested for popping off 2 rounds in a bar, didn't I?
you might have. I don't remember, but
Yeah. The local news here. And Jesus, I saw this all over the news. The FBI picked up its biggest homemade explosives cache ever in
and
Virginia.
and right across the James River Bridge in Isle of Wight County.
Yeah, that's right in Norfolk, isn't it?
Yep, right near
Uh,
Newport News.
Hundreds of explosives, and I guess the guy had a picture of Joe Biden who was using his target practice on his own land.
That's illegal.
No, but it doesn't help when it comes to motive.
Okay.
Um, why would you do that though? You're just begging to get in trouble for something stupid. I don't know. Not like that picture's gonna get. I don't know.
Well, we got pictures of Jane Fonda in the urinals at the VFW.
Well, yeah, but that's you're not actually killing her. You're just peeing on her face, and that was all because of Vietnam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She went to like basically a Potemkin village, and she was like, "Oh, it's not that bad. I don't know what they're complaining about." It's like, what the fuck?
You went one place, and then you came back and protested the war.
Yeah. Oh, it's one thing to protest the war. It's another thing to say it's not that bad. If it's not that bad,
Right.
Jane Fonda. All right. There was a shooting in a New York City deli. Um, there's the jackass targets that were being shot at were cowards, is the best way, I guess, to put it. They used a mother and a child as human shields.
Wow.
Yeah, the mother, both of them, both the mother and the daughter got shot. Um, pretty pretty fucked up. I didn't see too much about who these people were. I don't know if it was gang violence or what. It
Hmm.
sounded like it the way it went down. Kind of spraying bullets into a deli. But, all right. Now this next one we got here, Brian, we can discuss, but we can't give too many details
Yeah.
uh, because we do know someone somewhat involved in this. But in Barlow County,
Uh-huh.
dude went nuts and tried to kill his ex-wife or whatever and her new husband with a machete.
Yep. Machete's an
Uh,
interesting choice of weapon.
yeah. Well, dude cut someone in the face with a machete and then got shot, what, 5 times and is still alive?
Several times.
No,
The
it's oh, sorry.
victim, the victim defended himself and shot the ex-husband several times.
Yeah.
They're waiting. He had surgery, and the sheriff's office is waiting to see what happens. So, man,
Jeez.
if the person lives after being shot 5 times, the other person is a very bad shot.
Yeah, probably you're right. But that's just crazy, man. Like I can't
It
imagine
is.
going nuts with a machete on people. And you get hit in the face with a machete, you're gonna have a scar.
Yeah, a
All
big
right.
one.
Uh, I'm gonna go and numb up my horrific tooth pain because the Novocaine is wearing off. Not from the dentist, but like Orajel. So
All
I'll be right back. I won't be too long.
right.
This next one has something to do with that woman that was in the New York subway that was lit on fire.
Right. Yeah. You know, this woman was burned to death when somebody sprayed her with some kind of accelerant and then lit her on fire. She was sleeping on the subway. It's believed that she was homeless, and that was kind of where she was living at the time. And you know, nobody really tried to do anything to stop the burning or anything. She basically went up in a ball of flames, and the police actually didn't do a very good job either at first because they let the person that set her on fire out of the train stations. When they were evacuating everybody, but they have arrested a surprise, an illegal immigrant with the charge of setting her on fire. It took them days to identify who it was, which is kind of sad because that just shows you that obviously that she was a homeless person because nobody noticed she was missing for quite a while, and that you know, and because of that, the Guardian Angels have decided to resume patrols on New York City subways for the first time since 2020 after this.
I didn't realize they were still active in 2020. I thought they had stopped decades ago.
Well, the leader of the Guardian Angels actually um, is on WABC. He's got a radio show on WABC.
Oh, I didn't realize that. No, this next one's not supposed to be there, but that's all right. Uh, well, while
Yeah,
we have some,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Well, uh, geez, what was I going to say? Oh, Biden.
Uh-huh.
While we're talking about terrorism, he's saying that ISIS threat has not been an issue. In the United States, white supremacy is the big issue.
And then this happens. And
Yeah,
there
and then
people are also freaking out about the way his face looked during that speech.
yeah, I don't know why that was. Yeah, I normally I meant to put that under Go Joe, but that's all right. Yeah, he had bruises on his hand when he made this announcement, and a cut on his lip. It looked like a nasty scar. Maybe it was his body double. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, he keeps saying that white supremacy is the biggest threat. Meanwhile, guy with an ISIS flag drove through and killed at least 15. I heard as many as 20 already in Louisiana, New
And
Orleans.
he was ex-US Army, Green Beret, right?
Yes. What's even crazier is this guy served on the same base as the Tesla truck driver.
Yeah, but a lot of people serve on Fort Bragg. It's a huge base with lots of training
Yes.
facilities.
Yes. That's like saying, oh, they were both at Norfolk, Virginia. It's like, yeah, but they were on different ships.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah. But yeah, this guy had an ISIS flag in his truck, had a whole bunch of homemade explosives. Um,
And apparently they were getting ready to replace the barricades on Bourbon Street like in the next few days. This guy drove up on the sidewalk and around a police car to get into the revelers. And this is
yeah,
Bourbon Street. Have you been to Bourbon Street?
I've never been to Louisiana.
Okay, I have been to Bourbon Street, and that place, it's basically one of the few areas in the country where you can walk
Drunk
around with
outside.
booze.
Yeah, you can walk around with an open container.
Yeah. So it's always a party there. There's always people out and about. Some of the bars are open 24 hours.
That's where
So,
Mardi Gras happens, right?
yep, exactly where Mardi Gras happens. Yep.
Yeah, that's a big party.
hmm
Uh, yeah, Jesus Christ, man. And then within a couple of hours, Biden's out there saying Happy New Year. I don't know if he
He
was.
didn't even know about it, I don't think, by then.
You think they would have informed him before he went out to speak to the population? You know what I mean?
Well, who knows if he even sent the Happy New Year tweet out? That could have been one of his handlers doing it.
That's a good point.
But yeah,
And
it's
now
pretty insensitive that that tweet goes out before. I don't even know. What do they call the tweets on X?
that's a good question.
They're not called
Uh,
tweets.
I have no idea. Posts. It's good enough for me.
Okay, well, the post on X, should have started out with recognition of that happening
I
before
wonder if
the
he.
Happy New Year text went out.
Hmm. Yeah, apparently, I guess there was a video showing people planting four different explosives in the area, but they're saying it's not related to the truck driver though.
Not just
So that's
that
kind
sounds
of
like a
wild.
coordinated attack to me. If randomly when there's a truck, the guy's showing up to drive through the crowd of people, and then the other devices are being placed in place.
Yeah, it sounds like that was done together on purpose.
Yeah.
Exactly. And well, the Biden's team of crackpot investigators are trying to find, yeah, trying to find there's a link between the guy in New Orleans and the Cybertruck guy who, where was that, in Vegas, who tried to blow up a Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower, which I see the message there. Biden, Trump and Musk, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
And
thing is,
surprise, surprise, Elon Musk proved how much information is available in those Tesla vehicles because he released all the data to the FBI immediately.
what data, like where it had been and all that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff.
Yep. Where
Well,
it hit a charging station at type deal.
the thing is, this guy was an expert in the army, and he made homemade explosives that were mostly fireworks. Okay,
Is this New
and
Orleans or Texas or
Vegas,
Vegas? Okay, Vegas. Okay.
Vegas, and he shot himself in the head before the detonation occurred.
Well, they're saying that his wife was leaving him because he cheated on her or something.
So he takes it on.
Las
Well,
Vegas.
interesting because he had a mess note in there or whatever that said this is a wake up call. Um, but the Tesla truck is made out of stainless steel. It's not the strongest steel on the planet,
No.
but it's strong and flexible. So it absorbed almost the entire blast. All it really did was burn this guy beyond recognition and injure a couple people, which is good for us. Musk said he's going to restore the Tesla truck and get it back on the road.
They're
Uh, Not a big fan of the Cybertruck, but I will say it has
ugly. They
they
don't
are
even
ugly
look
as
like a
hell.
truck.
No, the best advantage it has is a massive battery that you can power tons of stuff on for a long time.
Where is the actual bed that you can haul shit in? That's what it is, a truck.
Well, I suppose you open the back up and there's some storage room, and then you have to hook up a trailer and all sorts of other stuff.
That's not a truck.
I don't disagree, and they're super expensive. Uh, but yeah, guy's name is Matthew Allen Livelsberger.
And both these people rented their vehicles through that that online thing where you rent your car to people type deal.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of
Ah,
what it is now, but
then
started
you're
with a
pissed off.
T.
You're not getting your vehicle back.
No, insurance might
Uh,
cover it, not cover it either.
the guy left two letters. He said it's not a terror attack, but rather a wake-up call, saying Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence and fireworks and explosives.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much right. I agree with that.
Well, in a second letter, he said that the police believe. See, this is what gets me. It's they say that they believe he wrote this. Did he or not? But it called for action to remove the Democrats from both the federal government and the military. Um, and it also included the possibility of occupying roads and federal buildings, not ruling out the use of force. So that sounds like a terror attack to me. You
It
want
sounds
to
more
make,
serious than the January 6 people, that's for sure.
yeah, the guy actually said, "This is what I'm going to do. Or this is what I want to happen," and it was to make a change in government. I don't follow a whole lot of MSNBC.
No,
Really don't.
I don't even know
You,
who
I,
Lawrence O'Donnell is.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. You don't know who this person is. Uh, Basically said that U.S. military are more terrorists than you get from these illegal migrants, or they're more dangerous. The army's more dangerous. And it's like, well, yeah, they're
I don't
fucking
think
trained in this
there
stuff.
you go, generalizing the U.S. the military. You're gonna lump a few bad apples into the whole pot.
And these guys are trained for this stuff, and that they handle pressure differently. So I mean, your martial artist is going to be able to kick someone's ass better than the freaking guy who does pull-ups. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's pissed off a lot of people by saying that, comparing the veterans. Didn't was it Pelosi that said all veterans are mentally ill? Or was
Yeah, I
that
think so.
yeah,
Somebody
okay.
did.
I remember that was a while ago too. Like we shouldn't be allowed to own guns because they're all mentally ill. All right, well, on the topic of army and military, our military appeals court says that we cannot revoke these plea deals from the Guantanamo terrorists for the architect of the 9/11 attack.
Yeah, there's a plea deal that some stupid the lawyers down there for both the Army or DOD and their attorneys agreed to.
Ah, God. What do you
And
do
I
when all
don't think that the Biden administration was kept in the loop what was going on. So they found out about it after the fact and knew how bad it looked optically wise, and tried to stop it.
yeah, but I mean then all the pardons happened anyway. What difference does it make, right?
Well, they're not getting pardoned, but they took the execution off the table, and most of these people are going back to, I think, Guatemala. They're going back to their home countries to being put in prison. But there's
Where
no
they can.
guarantee once they're out of the U.S. jurisdiction of Gitmo that they're going to stay in prison in those other countries.
No, exactly. And I mean, if you orchestrated the 9/11 attacks, perhaps that is, if any time the United States is going to use the death penalty, maybe that should be it. I mean,
I
we're still
mean,
gonna execute the
they
Boston
have
bomber.
spent the last 25 years of their life in Gitmo, so
Yeah. So,
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that I'd rather see them serve out their life sentences in not Diego Garcia, in Guantanamo Bay than in their home countries.
Diego
This
Garcia.
is a further, even, I don't even know that the Biden administration necessarily disagrees with this, because if they're sticking with the Obama plan of trying to close Gitmo down, this just works more in that favor. There's less prisoners down there, and it's harder to justify keeping the place open with fewer and fewer people in there.
And if you transfer him to the United States or any jurisdiction thereof that's actual American, they have all sorts of rights all of a sudden
Right.
as prisoners, and they don't have those rights in Cuba, which confuses me a little bit because isn't Guantanamo Bay a military base?
Yes.
So doesn't that count as American soil?
No.
I could have sworn it did. Whatever. And it looks like Biden's been discussing plans to strike Iranian nuclear sites before Trump's inauguration. He's concerned that they might be getting close to building a nuclear weapon. And isn't this the exact argument that everyone brought up when Obama signed the nuclear deal in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
That these guys are just going to build, they're refining uranium to build a bomb, not a reactor. We were called nut jobs. Anyone who said what the hell was called nut jobs. And now all of a sudden Biden's like, oh crap, they're building nukes. I just some of the time, man, you bring this stuff up and like, oh, that was 30 years ago. It's like, yeah, and the same stuff keeps happening. Well, it wasn't 30 years ago, but Jesus Christ, it was a long time ago. I don't know. It's just frustrating as hell, man. It's like this stuff's obvious. You point this stuff out to people, they tell you they have this normalcy bias. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, nothing's gonna change. Nothing ever changes.
Except that the Biden Defense Department is going to send another multi-billion-dollar aid package to Ukraine. Let me make a prediction here and now. This will be the last aid package to Ukraine ever from the U.S.
Ever. That's a long time.
While Trump's president. How about that?
Maybe. It's entirely possible. He's also signing paperwork right now to send money to Israel.
Because he had
Um,
to, because he was looking bad because he was delaying Israel money, but kept breaking the bank on Ukraine.
yeah, I don't think we should be giving either one of them all of this money to fight a war. I mean,
Well,
we
if I
keep
had to
hearing about
choose
the
between the two, I'd rather give it to Israel. if I
Well,
had to pick.
if for no reason other than we've given more money to Ukraine in the last couple years than we have to Israel since it was founded as a nation. Like, but even so, how long are we supposed to support Israel or Ukraine? Uh, Meanwhile, Ukraine just did a 300 prisoner exchange with Russia. I guess that's a good thing that there's still a little civility to do, get your POWs back.
Yeah.
Uh, But Ukraine apparently just fired, well, Russia fired down 8 US made attack missiles that were going for deep inland Russia and a whole bunch of drones, and has put out a warning that if Russian homeland is attacked again, they're going to retaliate against the nations that made and supplied these weapons. So,
Well, I mean, we got to make it another 16 days. The rules of engagement of Ukraine being able to use these drones is going to change as soon as Trump's president. It's going to go back to where you can use them in your country. You can't use them you can use them defensively, not offensive. I totally
yeah,
predict that.
yeah. Well, that's assuming that something doesn't happen between now
Then,
and then.
right.
Uh, I got a feeling you're right, though, is that um, Russia's at least going to wait for Trump to take office and see if something changes before they get involved in a direct conflict with the U.S.
Right. Right.
But yeah, and Ukraine's claiming that they only did this attack on mainland Russia because North Korea is helping them.
Yeah.
Looks like the North Korean soldiers just getting in the way.
Yeah. There's been a whole lot of friendly fire incidents happening with Ukraine, with the
Yeah,
North Korean soldiers. They're shooting more Russians than they are Ukrainians.
yeah, and they're shooting themselves in the head before they're taken prisoner. It's like, okay, well, not all these nations aren't North Korea. They're not just going to execute all their everyone they take
No.
prisoner.
And it showed, Russia and Ukraine just fought 300, they didn't shoot them
Yeah,
as soon as they got them.
they're not going to torture and execute you. So like, you don't have to kill yourself. You know what I mean? But I suppose if they're taken prisoner and then released back to North Korea, they're probably going to be executed anyway. Huh? Okay, so what's going on in Syria? Because Assad fled to Russia, and I guess he's been poisoned, but he's okay. But like, who's the official government in Syria right now?
No, the rebels have started a government.
They have.
There's an actual government in Syria. Yep.
Hmm. That's going to be a mess one way or the other
Oh
because
yeah,
you
most
don't have
definitely.
Russia or the United States getting involved in this conflict right now
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
And Honduras, they have the first female president,
Mm-hmm.
and she's threatening to kick the United States military bases out if Trump
I
deports.
didn't know we had military bases in Honduras.
I didn't either, but I'm not surprised. But uh, uh,
This is all a negotiating tactic. When Trump gets in office, she'll negotiate more favorable terms. All these countries are going to take their people back. She's saying that because we're violating the asylum rules. Got bad news for her.
First
You,
Nation.
it's the first nation you come to. The United States is not the first nation. They're not a direct border of the United States.
Nobody should be coming to the U.S. for sanction for asylum because what? You're fleeing
Mexico,
Canada? You're fleeing Mexico?
yeah, you
What's wrong
could
with
for the
Mexico?
drug cartels.
Are you racist?
Drug cartels.
I
Cartel
keep hearing
wars.
how great Mexico is. You're not allowed to say there's a mess down there.
Well, there is.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, but yeah, you're supposed to start with the first safe
But
nation.
this is really, she's trying to flex a little bit of power. In the end, she'll take back the deportees, in some form, you know, and the U.S. will probably give them more foreign aid in the process.
Yeah, and it looks like Mexico might be taking deportees that aren't even Mexican when
Oh,
Trump
they're
gets in
talking
office.
about bringing back the Remain in Mexico plan.
Yeah, so you got to stay there, and that's your problem. Well, it looks like Massachusetts is getting really slammed with these migrants. A guy was arrested recently in a hotel that's being funded by the Massachusetts taxpayers with an AR-15 and $1 million of fentanyl.
Then he doesn't need to be in a free hotel if he can afford an AR-15 and $1 million worth of fentanyl.
I agree 100%. AR-15s are not cheap.
No.
Even a low end one, you're gonna probably spend at least $1,000.
Well, you can afford it with his $1 million worth of fentanyl.
Exactly. Um, and this was I saw several articles about this, and they were all from the Boston Herald, and there were a handful of them that were opinion articles. Oof, man, scathing reports of I want to say Hochul. That's New York, isn't it?
Yep, yep.
Oh, what's your name? Wu is the mayor. I know that. Anyway, oh yeah, this was in Revere, which doesn't mean much to you. It's in a Boston suburb. But this guy, the guy who's come out and said something, he's a senator. He said, if there's anything I can do to effectuate changes, demanding that the documents in this case be made public. The guy's name is Senator Ryan Fatman. Yes. He's a Republican in Boston, and the public has a right to know what they're funding.
A Republican in Boston? Is he the
You
only
get
one?
you get some of them sometimes in the Senate or the Congress of the state. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because depending on what area you're actually representing. But geez Louise. Yeah, and just last week she came out and said that we are not a sanctuary state. It's like, bitch, you've been saying for
You
years that
are.
you are.
You're giving out mixed signals here. One day you are, the next day you're not. So
Exactly. And realistically, why couldn't they just okay? They should cut funding to all these states. It drives me nuts that the federal government is funding states for anything.
well, Trump will
But
try, but it won't actually happen.
why
There's
not?
deep state.
Why is Massachusetts getting paid by the federal government?
All these
Why?
states are getting paid by the federal government to house these people
But where's this money coming from?
from the deficit.
So we're just printing money to house these people.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And a poll just went out saying that 60% of Americans are opposed to more H-1B visas.
Well, these are actual visas that allow people to actually come here and work.
Yeah, and we don't take their um with brute force labor guys for H-1B visas. These are
No,
like
these are
doctors
the
and
tech guys, the skilled labor people.
yeah, leading the industry and innovation.
Yeah.
Um, I I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is against more H-1B visas too, and I disagree with him.
I don't
I think we,
I don't think he
right.
was.
Oh, maybe he took the other side.
Trump's I know for it.
Yeah, I mean, brain drain. Let's take all of the talent from all over the world, bring them here, and we'll get this place working well. And then we don't need to take all the riffraff. We can just take the best and the brightest.
Right.
Well, ICE is shutting down some of these programs that are offering services to these migrants, the illegal migrants.
Now that Trump's been reelected as president, and they know that one way or another these programs are getting shut down on January 20th.
Yeah, they're saying it's the immense cost.
Well, that it was always that, but now that Trump's coming, they know it ain't going to keep getting paid.
Exactly. And these economists are they're saying that these mass deportations will wreck the Mexican economy. How? I thought these people were absolutely necessary to keep the economy working, and that's why we have to keep them here.
I don't know.
How is sending these people back to Mexico going to wreck their economy? And if it is, then how come it's not wrecking our economy?
But it is wrecking our economy.
I know. This is what I've been trying to say, and I would, got these folks telling me that I'm an idiot. And I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't pay enough
Obviously, we're going to
attention.
have to give Mexico more foreign aid, to get this Remain in Mexico program going again. Otherwise, it will wreck their economy. But
How these people came from Mexico, supposedly, right? Like,
no, well, For their asylum purposes, yes, but all these people came from Central America, Russia, Ukraine. Everybody's trying to come through the southern border to claim
because it's wide
asylum.
open. Yeah, because it's as porous as a sponge.
Well, the Canadian border is worse.
True, but who goes to Canada?
A lot more people lately. Canada's
Lately, yes.
actually devoted a whole lot more resources to the border as of late because Trudeau's worried about becoming the 51st state.
Trudeau's in a lot of trouble.
He's on his way
He's get,
out.
yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are in Canada for their prime minister. He's a prime minister, not a president, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their
They
policies
don't
are.
have a permanent president.
No, but how
They
much?
got they got the King of England in charge.
Yes. Well, kinda. There's all sorts of weird rules when it comes to the king getting involved in the Commonwealth. Uh, but can the prime minister serve more than 2 terms? Like,
I
can that
don't
be a?
know.
I
No
have no idea
idea.
if that could be a lifetime thing or what. Well, I don't pay nothing against Canada. I love Canada, I really do. But
The times
what do
I've
you
been
think?
there, I always had a good time.
Yeah, but like I don't know. You never think of Canada on the world stage for anything. You know what I mean?
So
Which is
apparently, it was Dianne Feinstein that was attributed to saying that all veterans are mentally ill, but
Feinstein.
writers came out and said that she actually did not say that.
Oh, I remember seeing the video. Like, I'm pretty sure we played it on this show.
They're saying that the words were twisted.
Yeah. Oh, it's another cheap fake.
Yes,
Yeah.
cheap fakes are us.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, all right. um, Speaking of cheap fakes, I don't know who Jan Crawford is, but I guess she's a CBS anchor or correspondent or something.
Correspondent.
Yeah. She said that Biden's cognitive decline was the most undercover story of 2024. And she was like complaining about it. It's like, yeah, yes, you're the one who's supposed to recover this and report
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this.
but they're not going to do it. They're protecting the media.
I just think, oh, why didn't anyone cover this? Bitch, that was what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
YouTube busy saying Trump is a rapist and getting sued for it. That was CBS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's paying for the Trump library, which is hilarious. I love it. Uh, well, man, they just why didn't anyone cover this? But then the View, obviously, the View doing what the View does. Uh, Joy Behar said that Vance supports women staying in violent marriages, even though he himself was a victim of domestic abuse. Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could throw every Republican in jail because of the SCOTUS immunity ruling. Sonny Hawson said there'll be no other candidate besides Joe Biden. Sonny
Yeah.
Hawson said Kamala Harris is a moderate. She was also the one who's, yes, exactly, a moderate. She also said that Harris grew up in a middle class family. It's like both of her parents were doctors.
Yeah.
That's
They had
stop.
PhDs. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think middle class is? Whoopi Goldberg and Anna Navarro said that Trump intends to target Hunter Biden and other political opponents, as the Democrats are still doing that. And Whoopi said that Elon Musk and JD Vance want to kill Trump so that they could take over the presidency themselves, which she then had to walk back. But this is, oh, Jesus. I don't know. I just opened up a McAfee thing somehow. They pop up everywhere, man.
I don't have any McAfee's pop up on mine.
And I'm pretty sure it came installed, and I just never activated it. So it keeps trying to like do whatever it does. Oh crap. Almost left the meeting by accident. So yeah, the View got a whole bunch of stuff really wrong.
No.
at
It's hard to
least
believe.
at least twice they had to come out with like statements, right? Like, yep,
Yeah,
we were
yeah, because the lawyers were worried about getting sued.
yeah,
They didn't want to be George Stephanopoulos.
exactly. And Biden just handed the second highest civilian award to the J6 committee members and 18 other people, to include Liz Cheney.
It doesn't matter. These awards can be handed out by whoever they want to hand them out to, but The Republicans in the House of Representatives and both the Senate have said they're going to investigate the January 6th committee, and she's going
Yes.
to get charged with witness tampering.
I'm pretty sure that you're exactly right on that one.
So
And
she
Johnson
can
even
try to use her presidential notorious award to get her out of the trial, but good luck with that.
well, the FBI
I
just
heard somebody
released.
said that maybe she should go duck hunting with her dad soon.
Isn't he dead though?
Unfortunately, yes, I believe so.
Yeah. He didn't get shot in the face.
No, the
I,
people hunting with him did.
I still can't believe he shot a dude in the face. And we have so many people pretending that Cheney's are great people. That you hated Dick Cheney when he was in office.
He was not the best Republican vice president.
Uh, but yeah, speaking of January 6th, though, the FBI has just released new details and
Oh,
video
surprise,
of
surprise.
the pipe bombs that nobody talked about after like 3 days after this.
Yeah.
There's way too much suspicion around those pipe bombs that never went off, that nobody saw planted. And now, I don't know, man. You want to play conspiracy theory, then this is definitely somehow tied into the quote riot that happened at the Capitol, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, Joe is trying to ban oil and gas leases in Nevada for 20 years.
I think that
As
I think Trump can reverse this, because it's so soon close to his inauguration.
why would we ban this?
Exactly.
All right. Trump said he wants to drill baby drill on day
Right.
one.
And that's why Biden wants to ban it. So Trump can't drill baby drill.
Don't you're not helping anyone by just being contrarian.
Well, that's what Biden's been about the whole time he's been president.
I know he has, and I just wish once Trump would come out and be like, I'm in favor of breathing oxygen and watch all these guys just fall
Oh
down
yeah.
dead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, oh, can't breathe anymore. And he's trying to ban more offshore drilling.
Of course.
Have we is he hoping to hold on to this until the rest of the world is out of oil? Because isn't that what Alaska is for? I thought that's what we were doing in Alaska anyway.
Why?
Uh,
That's why we stopped drilling in Anwar because we want to keep the oil forever.
that's what I had heard rumors about that anyway. It was when the rest of the world runs out of oil, we'll tap Alaska and we'll be able to run stuff while everyone else figures out how to get around it. Russia actually came out recently and said that they wanted to take Alaska back, which you can't just
That's
take it
why.
back. You sold it. It
Right.
wasn't even like taken by force.
And that's why Trump wants to buy Greenland because of all the natural resources that are there. There's
Yeah,
there's only 60,000 people who live on the whole island.
and they've only had their independence for 100 years, something like that, or less than
Technically,
a.
they really don't have their independence. They're still supposed to be defended by Denmark.
Yeah, but they're not Dutch, so
It's
I don't
one of
know.
those cockamamie schemes again.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, and what's up with this U.S. Steel thing? I couldn't get a straight answer anywhere I looked. Uh, Japan was looking to buy a steel company,
Yes, and they
or
wanted
was
to
it?
buy U.S. Steel, the largest U.S. company that manufactures steel, and Biden blocked the sale because he wants to keep the company owned by somebody in the U.S.
Okay, I can understand that logic, but does the president have the authority to say you're not allowed to sell your company to a foreign company?
I would think it would have to be, I mean, ultimately, probably yes, but
Because they probably have a
it
contract
would,
with
there should
DOD.
be a government agency that stops it before it gets to the level of presidency, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Like
mean,
the
like,
Federal Trade Commission or something, some other entity that controls, how much foreign people can buy U.S. country companies.
yeah, and it says Japan. Or actually, is it the company Nippon? Yeah, Nippon Steel wants to buy U.S. Steel,
Right,
and U.S. Steel is one of the biggest steel companies on the planet.
right.
Which is a big deal. That's like actually what Americans are.
We were
Well,
known for.
Exactly. We were known for a very long time, especially in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I mean, shoot, they named their football team in Pittsburgh after the steel industry,
Hmm.
which I don't know if people realize that, but that's obvious the way they spell Steelers. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know why they would want to sell. I mean, I guess I got no why they would want to sell. They want to make a ton of money and get out, but they
Yeah, they
probably have
want to get
also
out while they still can get out, you know?
this. They probably have tons of contracts with the federal government though for
That's an
defense,
issue.
right?
That's probably how Biden got involved
Because
because
I'm
of that
certain they're
fact.
selling steel to the Navy, right?
Of course. We're only supposed to buy new U.S. steel.
For a handful of reasons. One, to keep the money in the U.S., and another is so that
We
the
get
rest of
good
the world
steel.
can't just shut it off. Yeah, yeah, and good
Exactly.
steel. We know it's quality.
Right.
Uh, and geez, Louise, the U.S. Steel Company uh, was huge in the Industrial Revolution. I mean, all these skyscrapers, you know.
Yeah.
And okay, these guys now. We brought this up before, and they're trying to find out if they can stop Congress from letting Trump to be become president.
This is so hilarious because 4 years ago they were freaking out when Trump was doing his big protest on January 6th, you know, when they were certifying the Electoral College.
Yeah, and they
So
impeached him
how
over it,
is
did
it
they?
not okay to do it 4 years ago, but it is okay now? What's
Well,
the
and
difference?
that's the big issue was they're claiming it's the 14th Amendment, calling him an insurrectionist. It's like you know that
He
word
was
you can't,
never convicted of insurrection. He was never even charged with insurrection. Nobody has been charged with insurrection.
and that's the key. It's not a single person has been charged with it, but we keep hearing that term come up. It's like, well, then why don't you use it in a courtroom? Most of these guys being charged with trespassing on public property. That's tough to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. You sent this article, and you know what? I thought it was going to be bird flu. We got our first confirmed case of bird flu in West Virginia.
Okay.
And then you shared this article about this mystery disease in China that's outbreaking, and everyone's in masks in hospitals, and
Right,
there are
right.
rumors
Yeah,
of
uh-huh.
funeral homes and
Yep.
crematoriums being overrun
That reminds me of COVID-19.
right before Trump comes into office. And look, it's coming out of China again.
Exactly. That's why I shared it. I wouldn't have cared if it would have been any other country but
That's
China.
why I've been avoiding this bird flu crap. But it's like, oh my God, they genetically engineered another horrible disease. Uh, do you think this is going to be a COVID thing, or are people
No,
not going to put up with that shit again?
they're not gonna. No, we're not putting up with that shit again.
No, a
Especially
lot of
with
these.
Trump becoming president, you know. I mean, he's not falling for the same BS he fell for in 2020.
He is hoping. I've got high hopes for Trump coming in because I think he learned a very important
I
lesson.
think he learned a ton of lessons in his first administration. I think he's going to be a totally different president. He's only got really 2 years, and he has control of the Senate and the House. Not like huge margins, but he does have all three branches
For
of the government to try to get a few things passed. But he's got only 2 years to do it, so we'll see what happens.
realistically 18 months.
Hmm.
And like we were talking about last week, he may get two picks for Supreme Court.
I do think that a couple of the older Republican Supreme Court justices will retire in his time. Maybe even a
Uh,
Dem.
maybe, but I got a feeling, well,
The Dems will probably just die.
yeah, they'll probably stay in office and die instead. Because if they were gonna, they would do it right now, or they would have already
Well,
done it under
they would
Biden.
have had to do it already because
It'd be too
you
late
know,
now.
yeah.
Exactly. And
But I
that was
think Clarence Thomas will probably go, and one of the other older ones. You know,
Roberts.
Robert's Chief Justice. I don't see him giving up that position quite that easily.
Why not? You still get paid. Go home, be with your white wife.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it. I love it too. Like, he's, this racist or whatever. I'm like, first of all, I thought black folks couldn't be racist. Second of all, he's married to a white woman.
Right.
It's like,
The problem is he's racist because he's a Republican.
that's
He's
exactly
Uncle
the issue.
Tom.
More people should read that book
Of course.
because that's not what that means. Okay. Uh, first of all, Uncle Tom was a white guy who owned the cabin, but that's neither here nor there. People need to start reading these books before they make references, and I'm just real frustrated how anyone younger than me hasn't read anything other than Harry Potter. Shoot, actually have a copy of The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Wow. Okay.
I know, and I have Dante's Inferno. Mm. All right, I got some interesting stuff sitting here in the leftovers. I wanted to bring some of it up.
All
Uh,
right.
well, three teenagers stole a car like 2:30 in the morning when the police caught up to them.
Uh-huh.
They wrecked the car and fled on foot. And the eldest of the teenagers turned around with a gun and fired on the police and killed the canine unit. Um,
Wow.
I don't think this kid understands that that counts as killing a police officer in the United States.
I don't think they do either.
You go to prison for a long time for killing a cop,
Yeah.
even if
And
you're 17.
oh yeah. They're gonna get tried as an adult. There's no
At
ifs,
least
ands, or
that,
buts about it.
at least the eldest kid is. One of them, I think, was like 14. He may not. But and I get it, man. That dog gets you. It's gonna hurt you when it takes you down. Dear God, man, what are you doing shooting at the police? Like, you're just begging to get killed, aren't you?
Yeah.
And stupid kids. Where are these kids' parents? That these kids are out at 2:30 in the morning stealing cars. Jeez. Yeah, and in Texas, some 4-H kid killed a goat that someone else, like a competitive teenager, was showing up with at the competition. What the hell
That's
is going
insane.
on? Like, that's kind of crazy.
It's not that competitive, you know? At least it
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
yeah. This isn't going to decide whether or not you get into that good college or you get that sweet job.
Yeah.
You know, it's a goat. Uh, okay, so what happened in Puerto Rico? I kept seeing this near total blackout, but I'm not sure what caused it.
Corruption?
Is that what it was? It was just misappropriation of everything.
Yeah, I mean, their power grid has not, there's been no money really put in their power grid for decades. And, you know, even though they just rebuilt the whole thing after the last hurricane a few years ago, it's still not that great. No
That was
power
more than a
grid.
few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were doing the podcast.
Yeah, we were, and that was when the Carl Vincent plugged into Puerto Rico, right? And powered the entire island.
Maybe.
I think that was the Carl Vincent, CVN 70,
That's
conventional
Carlin then.
nuclear aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Um, and okay, you shared this one.
Now
I don't know if
now a forward deploy aircraft carrier.
oh, where are they stationed now?
Japan, I believe.
Oh, I thought the Nixon went over there.
There is no Nixon.
Not Nixon. What was the new one that just came out? Eisenhower? No. Fuck, what was the new one that I was?
Washington.
Huh?
It's either Japan or San Diego. I'm not sure which. So
Oh, back to California would make sense. It was only supposed to be in Virginia for the overhaul and reconstruction. Hmm. I'm glad I'm not on that ship anymore. I worked way too hard and got beat up too bad. We had power outages here in West Virginia last night. Uh, and what sucked was it was like power was coming on, it was going off, it was coming on, it was going off. Which sucks because my generator kept kicking on and shutting off and kicking on and shutting off.
it is San
Never.
Diego.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So they're back to San
Yeah,
Diego.
yeah. They're deployed right now, but they're in San Diego. So
I'm guessing somewhere over in
they just left Malaysia.
Okay. So okay.
That would have been a cool port to visit. I never got to visit Malaysia, so
No, it's subtropical, right?
yeah.
Mm. Did you this next one you shared? Did you know this was referring to Georgia the nation, not Georgia the state?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
They're warning about people need to stop crypto mining because it's shutting down the electric grid.
It's using too much power. They're not doing it like El Salvador is using their volcanoes to power up the mining organizations.
That's brilliant. Like, why not make a power plant out of a volcano, right?
Yep.
Uh, oh, anything else in here interesting? Looks like we're going to be deorbiting the International Space Station.
And China will have the only active space station after that.
Eh, we knew this was going to come down, and realistically, what does that entail? Slowly bringing it closer until it falls out of orbit and falls into the Pacific Ocean, I'm guessing.
Burns up in the orbit.
I think it might be too big to just burn up. Chunks of it are going to hit
But
the ground.
Elon Musk is going to have to get something back up there because we need some kind of foothold in space.
Why?
Because
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just wondering why. Like, we haven't made any advances
Well,
besides
we don't know that. There's been a ton of scientific advances that happen, and experiments that happen in outer space that can't happen on Earth. We just don't know
experiments.
about them
Yes.
all.
Yeah, okay, but so we're testing mixing blood types together so we can make a universal donor that can only happen in space. That means we have to go to space to do this stuff. Like, say it becomes feasible and something we could do. Now we have to go to space to do the project that bring it back to use it.
We're more likely to get another space station in orbit before we get our colony on the moon or our colony on Mars.
What's going to be crazy is when Elon Musk exactly builds his own and puts it up into orbit. And then the United States gets to rent it from him. Now, here's an interesting thing I saw. There's a new Oklahoma law that's requiring students to be accepted into college, a trade school, or join the military to be able to graduate high school.
That is kind of interesting.
Ronnie, just in case you didn't hear that, Oklahoma has a new law requiring students to be accepted into college, a trade school, or join the service to graduate high school.
Ooh,
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah.
So if you're poor, you have to join the service?
But you could do a trade school too.
Trade
Yeah,
schools
yeah.
ain't free, dude.
Well, we got laws out here like when you're in high school, you can't leave. You start leaving year 9, year 10. That's when you're about 15, 16. But now you've got to go to trades college or you've got to do some sort of studying afterwards.
Yeah. But I mean, it just seems strange to say you can't even graduate high school unless you have plans for after. It's like I was gonna go work for my father plumbing or on the farm. You know what I mean? Like, nope, can't. Not in Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. Well, that's
Is
where the
this an
corn is
underhanded
as high
way
as
of
an elephant's eye, right?
is this an underhanded way of getting some conscription going? Is it?
That's exactly what I thought was. You're sending these young kids
Could they
who can't
join? Could they
afford.
join the National Guard? Can they join the Oklahoma National Guard?
I would think so because it didn't specifically mention that, but that people tend to count the National Guard as the military.
But it
But
is. But it's if there's no foreign wars going on, it's actually a better way to go. With Trump coming in, we're not going to be getting in any unnecessary wars anytime soon. So the National Guard won't be activated to the military, the actual Army or Air Force anytime soon
no, they'll be used as crowd control like they're supposed to be used most of the time.
in their states.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a riot in Oklahoma. Okay, National Guard, get out there and
Get her done.
yeah, they don't even stop these things anymore. They just contain it. So go ahead and burn down that city block. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about this because it's like the repeat offender said. It sounds like it's a good way to force a lot of people into the service right before World
Mm.
War III.
Well, probably the Democrats thought they were going to win your federal election, mate. Get people in that way.
And as much as I'm proud to have served in the United States Navy and glad I did, I would not want to be in the Navy at wartime.
No.
Um,
If I had to
they
choose
don't
between services, I'd still choose the Navy in wartime over all the others. But
probably, but it, you don't even have to get hit with the weapons to get killed on a Navy ship. Uh, Realistically, my chances are me, the job I did in the Navy, I was going to die putting out a fire or stopping flooding and then getting sealed in the room because I couldn't get it taken care of quick enough after we got hit with ordnance, you know? Like it sucks enough to get hit with a missile. Now I have to go in there and put the fire out, weld the bulkhead back together while people are closing the hatches over my head and locking that shit shut, you know? ugh, just I don't know, man. And maybe he is powerful, but we've been seeing the United States military fuck up a lot. We shot down our own aircraft.
And there was another mirror. They almost did it again, like a few days later.
Again, I still think it was the same day. I think it was the same barrage of missiles. They
Oh,
just didn't bring up the second one until after the fact.
okay.
Uh,
I'm sure that commanding officer is no longer the commanding officer.
yeah, no, exactly. And Guapo was like, "Oh, I know guys on that ship." Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to put out that he was relieved of duty for lack of confidence. That's all we're ever going to officially hear about this.
I should
Meanwhile, he
ask him.
retires.
I'm gonna send him a text now. And it's like, hey, what'd you hear?
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's still
There's
going
going
to
to
get
be
to
a big cover up
retire
on that
in
one.
'06.
There'll be a nice little cover up on that one.
Yeah, well, exactly. He's going to get to retire in '06, and then the E5 or E6 guy enlisted is going to get fucked. He's going to get fucked hard for pushing the button for
Yeah, it's
taking
the enlisted
orders.
people. They're gonna take the full brunt of it. They're
Yep.
gonna get
And
the worst punishment.
oh,
Oh
and I
no,
don't.
somebody retires as the captain. What happens? He'll
He's
get
still
a
bringing six
job as a
figures,
fucking CEO or on a board of directors someplace, making
or if
another
that
two hundred
collects six,
thousand dollars a year.
yeah, or if that just collect your 6 figure pension, uh, and stay retired. But repeat offender, I don't know if you know, but if you get kicked out of the service as enlisted, you can't work for anyone that has a contract with the United States government.
You also can't give
Yeah,
you benefits.
Yeah, and you don't get
that's
benefits. But that means you literally can't even work at McDonald's because there are McDonald's on base.
that's for the dishonorable discharge.
Yeah.
He says he
Yeah,
got he got no info back from his contact.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly. Because that's
surprising.
anyone who does know what's going on is keeping their mouth shut so they don't get boned on that.
Yep.
anyone who's got any information, mate, you'd shut your mouth, wouldn't
It'd be smart to shut your mouth.
If I was still enlisted,
you?
I'd be silent about that. Like I was down below decks, at
I
the
was in
repair locker.
CIC when that happened.
Yeah, I was in the repair locker, dressed out, waiting for conflict. Okay, so I keep seeing this net neutrality crap. We've talked about it more than once. I still don't know what the hell it is.
This was the big Dems push to make it so that you couldn't pay extra for high-speed internet. Everything had to be equally available to everybody for the same speeds.
But I might
There's
have to
no
pay more.
throttling. You can't pay more. It's not allowed.
No, I might be forced to pay more in a certain area because South Shore, Massachusetts is wealthy, for example.
That's the way I understood it. I
Oh, okay,
understood
okay.
that they weren't allowed to throttle the internet or give you more speed, even if you paid for it.
Well, I mean, I understand the throttling the internet thing, like that seems silly, but at the same time, like the cable company, they're putting all of the same stuff out anyway, right? No matter what, whether or not you're paying for it, it's still getting broadcast. Should I be able to just tap into this and not have to pay more for the different channels?
Well, net neutrality deals with the internet, not cable.
Okay, my streaming services.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's a service out there. If you didn't pay for all of the service, why should you? Why shouldn't I be able to pay more to get faster internet? Why can't I have
You
broadband
should be
here?
able to, but net neutrality would have killed that.
And I got shut down by the court, I guess.
Yes.
Now, if the
Well, because the
government,
FCC was the one trying to create it, and the FCC doesn't should. They're saying the FCC overstepped their authority because they don't control the internet; they control cable.
yeah, and that is a little strange, because you can get away with just about anything on the internet, that you can't get away with on cable. Just like I get my streaming services, I get shows that are on cable, but obviously through my streaming services, and they're full of curse words and everything.
Right.
I know it's not censored,
Right.
but you can still. Oh, okay. You can still watch Rick and Morty on cable. It's just not full of the swears. It's go beep 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 beep. Uh, So all right, I guess I can still have my high speed internet, and I don't. If they want to control the internet, they should. I wouldn't even know how to say they should because they don't really have the authority.
That's the issue. The courts say they don't have the authority. So Trump's going to have to set up another organization that has the authority to control the internet.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake too. But all right. Uh, and this
Yes,
next
of
one I have
course.
in. Oh, yeah, this next one I have in here is an interesting thing that it's called the East African Rift System. It stretches from Mozambique to the Red Sea, and there are tectonic plates moving.
So they're going to have an earthquake.
Crazier is they're expecting a new ocean to form in the middle of Africa.
What?
They're saying that normally they expected this to take like 10 to 100 million years.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the movement, they say in a million years there's going to be another ocean in the middle of Africa.
In a million years?
In a million years,
Well,
with
I'm not
the
going to be alive then, so I'm not really too worried about it.
no, well, I don't. It's not necessarily a problem either.
Um,
It
I mean,
should really
are they blaming this on global warming?
no. This is the plate tectonics. This is just the plates naturally floating on the magma core. They're moving centimeters a year, I guess, which is like faster than the glaciers.
Yeah.
Um, well, this will create a lot of coastline,
That'll
which
be great
will
for Trump.
well, yeah, well, in a million years, because we all know Trump is going to be president forever, right?
Yep.
He's a dictator who will be there until he wants to be there.
Exactly. They're going to download his consciousness onto a chip.
Yep. AI.
That's
It'll
how
be
he's going
like
to get
Matt
away.
said, remember Matt from MTV?
So that's how he's going to get around the two terms of president thing. He's going to be an AI computer chip. He's not the same person.
Yeah.
But it'll create a lot of coastline, allow more trading. Um, this might be good for mankind. As strange as hearing the Earth is changing doesn't sound like a good thing for mankind.
Well,
More
most people don't
coastline,
think that mankind will be alive in a million years. So,
maybe not, maybe not. But you know what? The Earth will be fine. The Earth will recover, no problem. We're just a blip on the radar of existence in time, depending on how you view everything. But I don't know. I'm a firm believer of God, but I also believe in evolution. And I think evolution was a tool of God because the Earth was created in 6 days. Yeah, what's a day to God before time was invented, right? Forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah. Either way, the Earth will be fine. Even if we all die in another million years, 100 million years, the plant life will take over and it'll start over again. Like it has countless times with other. How many mass extinction events have we seen?
well,
And life keeps coming back. Well, uh, that's all I got.
does
We went
the
through.
repeat offender got anything?
Not much. I just can't wait, boys. 15 days to go for me, 16 for yourselves.
6 days before he's convicted as a felon.
Oh, that isn't going to go through.
Yeah, it is.
He wants to
There
do
it
what
is.
He's
teleconference.
definitely going to be. There's not going to get any punishment out of the deal, but he's going to be a convicted felon.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to be overturned. It's going to go to an appeal. It'll be overturned.
It will definitely be appealed, and I hope it does get overturned in the long run. But we're talking about a New York State court, so we
There's
really
still options.
held a lot of faith in the New York Supreme Court to overturn
Well,
it.
he's ordered him in,
No.
but he said he can come in via video conference as well too. So if you're going to go to jail, he's going to send him to jail. You call you.
No,
You
he
bring
already said he's
people.
not going to jail.
He won't because he knows
Yeah.
it'll be the end of his career. Marshawn's gone, mate. Marshawn, whatever you want to call him, he's gone.
I don't think he's gone. I think he's trying to keep this rolling to keep his name in the lights,
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's giving him the lightest sentence possible. There is no sentence, but he's going to be a convicted felon. That's exactly what Marshawn wants.
Yeah, that's not going to last long. They'll go to appellate court.
We'll
They'll get
see.
overturned. Easy.
Hopefully, but
Yeah. Have faith, mate. Have faith.
I'm not putting all my faith in the New York State court system. So
I whack a 20 on this one, mate.
I
put 20 on this.
You're gonna put $20 on that it gets overturned? American or Aussie dollars?
Yeah, well, actually, I might do in Canadian. They're a bit low enough at the moment.
All right, 20 Canadian dollars says it. You're gonna say it gets overturned. I'll say it doesn't get overturned.
No, not this time. Marshawn's not going to overturn it. We'll go to appellate court.
No, it's got to go up. It's got to go up.
Yeah. It's just a due process.
What's 20 Canadian dollars worth these days?
Not much.
79 US cents.
No, I don't know. Maybe, but for a while there, the Canadian dollars was worth more.
No, it's not anymore. They're way down.
All right.
Maybe
13 degrees. What?
Maybe when Trudeau goes.
Maybe it'll come back up. But the thing is, like, I heard about these tariffs in Canada. It's like, oh, it's going to destroy our economy. It's like, what goods do Americans buy that are made in Canada?
Not that many.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. I just watched an Amazon Prime show about maple syrup.
Yep.
Called Sticky. It was really good. It was about the great Canadian American syrup, great Canadian syrup heist. People stole millions of dollars of maple syrup.
I'd like to see the getaway truck.
It was a tanker truck.
What are you going to do with the tanker truck full of maple syrup?
Sell it.
Mate, they got poutine.
It was an entertaining show. You check it out. It was entertaining.
Vermont maple syrup's better anyway.
Maybe.
What's funny is
they got poutine. They got poutine. Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons is garbage, dude. I don't like coffee anyway. In general, theirs is particularly bad. Their donuts are garbage. I mean, for the love of God,
you're from Massachusetts. You're all Dunkin' Donuts all the way.
I was just like Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme make a better donut than Tim Horton. The only thing that Canada exports well is hockey players.
Yeah, they do that.
Everything. The Russians used to be really good at that too. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know how much you guys follow hockey or NHL, but in the 90s, man, like a third of the guys were named like Kazatalnov.
They've been conscripted to the war.
It's entirely possible. Bring the athletes back to go fight. All right. Well, I think that might be our show, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed the show, consider tossing us a couple bucks, or even better, share the show out for someone else who might be interested in listening.
Yep.
That means viewers and listeners mean more right now, because let's say we get 100,000 people to listen to the show every week. Someone's going to throw a buck or two here this way.
That we can I could use $100,000.
Oh, well, it would pay for the show at least first.
We would quit our jobs.
No. If we actually brought in an actual paycheck in the show, I would put in 10 times as much work into the show. I'm not kidding you.
Me too.
I really would. It'd be. Yeah, but if
you gotta drink your Bud Light.
Yeah. I'll drink a Bud Light when you pound a Foster's. All right.
You can't buy Foster's in Australia.
It's never going to happen.
There you go.
You can't even buy it there. You got to wait for him to come back to the U.S. to pound the Foster's.
Oh, so I'm going to buy one.
You guys to drink Foster's.
I'm going to buy one and ship it to you.
I'm going to have to visit you guys to bloody drink Foster's.
You want us to drink Foster's?
The oil.
I said I'm going to have to visit you guys to drink it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the only way you can get it.
I don't even know where to get it besides what's that steak house?
Outback.
Oh, obviously the Outback. Duh. All right, Brian, that's our show. Let's pinch this one off.
Sounds great.